might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to a new week. Today is Monday, February 12th, 2024. It is currently 7:28 a.m. It has been a crazy weekend, but we are here. If you do not know who I am your host of the show, of the channel, Tech Coach Ralph, where we are engineered to win, as the sign says, as the hat says. And let me just say, good morning to you, good guy. How are you doing this morning? Happy to see you here bright and early. All right. So, shout out to good guy. He is a good guy. My battery's dead in the iPad, so not that many sounds coming this week, or this morning, but I will say for good guy. I always have one available. All right. So, like I said, it was a long weekend. We are going to talk about it. But first, let's just jump right into our news stories. Before we jump into our news stories, we have the Candid Conversations coming out at noon. Tomorrow night, we're doing Cybersecurity Night with Socks at, I'm starting around 7:15, 7:30, but we're going to be officially joining Socks at 8 p.m., talking about cybersecurity, talking about the beta testing that's going on with Sox University and our plans to launch that at the beginning of March. All right. So that is our plans coming up for the next 2 days, and then we'll be back in the morning on Wednesday as well. But let's get into our news stories, and then we shall talk about Flutter and give some updates on what's going on and what we're going to be working on this week. All right. So let's, no timer, because the thing is dead. All right. Well, we're going to have to wing it. No timer this morning. All right. So let's go with this. Let's jump over to, I have to figure this out. All right. Let's jump over to our news stories. All right. So the first one that we're going to talk about is, let's zoom in a little bit. The Kansas City Chiefs win Super Bowl. I don't even know what number that is. I'm not really following along in the Super Bowl, but I do want to acknowledge the Super Bowl champs, the Kansas City Chiefs. So it says the Kansas City Chiefs bested the San Francisco 49ers in overtime 25-22 to repeat as Super Bowl champions. Record viewership was anticipated for Super Bowl, I don't know what that is, hosted for the first time in Las Vegas at Allegiant Stadium. There are some key industry-focused narratives that unfolded at the big game. So, and something that I see a lot of people, they just can't help themselves to talk about is the halftime show. I never really cared about the halftime show when I was watching football and watching sports. I like to focus on the game and what's happening in there. So I never really cared about some of the. I like the GoDaddy commercials back in the days and some other commercials, but I was always really like whatever activity that I'm engaging in. I like to focus on the activity and not all the fluff that goes on around it. But maybe that's just me, all right? I didn't watch the game. I didn't care for the halftime show. I know a lot of people talking about Usher and whoever else performed with them. Like if I was to watch a game, it would have been about the game about the Chiefs and the 49ers, right? So it says sports media future CBS Sports faces a year of uncertainty amid the potential sale of parent company Paramount, while the industry tackles soaring rights fees for sports content, in part because of pushing into streaming, notes the New York Times. Another hit. The power of ads. A 30-second Super Bowl commercial ad costs upwards of 7 million. Yes, correct. $7 million. Had that one. But that didn't stop companies from wanting their time to shine during the game. And then we have, of course, the Taylor Swift effect. All right. The pop star's worth to the NFL and Kansas City and the Chiefs stand at 331.5 million, and her presence helped female viewership reach its highest level since the NFL started tracking it. And then we have Sin City's economic gain. Tickets for a seat at this year's Super Bowl were $9,815 on average, up more than 70% from last year, while those staying at hotels in Vegas paid 2.5 times the average room rate, or roughly $391 per night. USA Today reports this comes as Vegas vies to become a sports destination. Well, in Vegas we have boxing, we have MMA, we have the UFC that likes to fight in Vegas a lot. Sports betting is booming. Nearly 68 million people will place bets on the game, and they're expected to wager more than $23 billion, according to a new survey. So, well, sounds crazy all around. Sports betting, Sin City, Taylor Swift, ads for $7 million. Give the people what they want, I guess. All right. So, but at the end of the day, the Kansas City Chiefs are the Super Bowl champions, back-to-back champions. I like Patrick Mahomes. I don't know anything. I don't know anything about him, but I like the way he plays. I like the way he passes. Not that I watch too often, but see some plays every now and then. Hear good things. All right. Let's jump into our next story. CA must be California, of course. Fast food workers launch union. It's like they just don't learn, do they? Right? They don't learn. So now we have another union. Like it's like you just see UPS, right? They fought for their union and stuff, and these crazy salary increases, and now 12,000 UPS workers are getting laid off, and now the fast food workers, out of all of them, are going down the same rabbit hole. So we shall see how that plays out at the end of the day. Okay. We'll see how that plays out at the end of the day, right? But let's read it, right? In an industry first, fast food workers in California have established a union hoping to add recent wins on pay and working condition. The California Fast Food Workers Union, which includes workers from McDonald's, Pizza Hut, and Subway, among other chains, is affiliated with the Influence Service Employees International Union. But if I remember correctly, Pizza Hut just got rid of all of their delivery drivers because they can't afford it. And they said that McDonald's and other companies are raising their prices. $18 for a Big Mac meal? Come on. All right. Okay, so the new group hopes to protect workers from being fired without valid cause. Well, I think valid cause is like we can't afford it. That's a valid cause, right? I mean, they're gonna run these businesses into, or the company is gonna do like they did in Atlas Shrugged, and they're gonna leave California, eventually leave the U.S. But the guarantee they are given even valid cause and guarantee they're given enough hours to make a livable income. I have no idea what a livable income is, but it is what it is, right? Unions are exceedingly rare in the fast food industry, per the Post. The minimum wage for California fast food workers will rise to $20 in April. A number of major chains have hiked their menu prices in response, as well as gotten rid of a bunch of employees. Let's not forget that. Mary Kay Henry, SEIU first female president, announced earlier this week that she won't run for re-election when her term ends in May. You know why? Because she does not want to be blamed for the upcoming slaughter of California fast food workers. It's it's gonna be bad. Like from this perspective, it's gonna be bad. Um, let's read this one, right? From Stuart Kerr, Senior Vice President, Development of and Artificial Intelligence at Vice Explorer says, unions are playing checkers while companies are playing chess. The break-even point for investing in automation is here. Tell me about it. In fact, it arrived a few years ago. Sorry, economics always wins and labor always loses. Of the companies affected, McDonald's, Burger King, Jack in the Box, Carl's, and Subway, automation has already been operationally deployed that can replace line workers, except for perhaps Subway, which I don't even know if people eating at Subway is like they used to. They don't even have the $5 footlongs anymore, from my understanding. They say $5 footlongs, but are they really $5? I don't think so. The workers in Monterey Park should travel down the freeway to Pasadena to see an automated burger joint and the future, you know? And then we have, anyways, okay. All right, let's go into our last story or last article for the day, which is what I like to do on Mondays now. It's becoming a trend, right? The numbers to watch for this week, all right? So let's wrap it up with the numbers. Inflation will take stage this week as a key measure is expected to show further signs of cooling. The U.S. Consumer Price Index will likely fell to 3.7% in January from 3.9% in December, according to Market Watch survey. Those results, along with slight revisions made to fourth quarter figures, would confirm the progress made in bringing down inflation from 9.1% in 2022 to a 40-year high, right? The Federal Reserve, which has been holding interest rates at a 22-year high for 6 months, has said it would cut them if disinflation continues, all right? So, upcoming releases for this week. Tomorrow, Tuesday, February 13th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the monthly consumer price index for January, which measures inflation through the price of goods and services. So my question is, though, are they excluding energy and like food and stuff like that? Because if those stay up high, the number, for me at least, it's not accurate, right? But who am I? I'm not an economist or anything like that, right? So now we look out for Thursday, February 15th. The U.S. Commerce Department will release its retail sale report for January. It tracks demands for finished goods such as food, clothing, and furniture in stores and online. The U.S. Department of Labor will release initial jobless claims for the previous week. The report, a proxy for layoffs, tracks the number of people filing for unemployment benefits. And then we have Friday, February 16th, the U.S. Census Bureau will release the preliminary number of new building permits issued by the government, and new homes start in January, which are key housing market indicators. The Bureau of Labor Statistics, this is also on Friday, February 16th, the Bureau of Labor Statistics will release the producer price index for January. The gauge measures the change over time in prices charged by domestic producers for their output. And lastly, the University of Michigan will release its preliminary reading of February Consumer Sentiment Index, which measures how Americans feel about current and future economic conditions. All right. So that is our news for the day. Go back to full. All right. So that's the news for the day. What to look for this week. Congrats to Kansas City and Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift, Andy Reid, everybody out there. Congrats to you guys for a job well done. All right. So that is our news for today. If you have not done so yet, do me a favor. Go ahead and like the video, share the video, leave me a comment, interact with me in the chat, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know that every time we go live. All right. So now let's move on to the reason that we are here. Let's talk about Flutter and this weekend. All right. So this weekend, I ended up like going to sleep super late on Saturday night, going into Sunday morning, because I was like working on the app, on the time cost calculator app, and it was like you keep getting further and further and further along, and you're like, something's not working and you got to fix it. Something's not working and you got to fix it. And then I finally got everything. So I mentioned this yesterday, right? The thing with mobile development, getting the app set up, like, to load and everything like that, working on your local computer with the code, all good. Now you have to figure out, okay, how do I get it to? There's a whole bunch of like a series of steps that you need to go through to get it onto like the App Store for Android, and then also for Apple, right? So I started going through the process on Saturday night. Paid the developer registration fees on both sites, and I'll document it as well, like the process that I went through. But I paid $25 for Android, for Apple, or not Apple, for Google, and then it's $100 for Apple, right? So and I'm still waiting for. I just got approved last night or this morning actually for Google. Still waiting to hear back from Apple. That should take a few days, but the app is working in. I have it local. I have it on my phone, like in debug mode. Was running it on the emulator, on the Android emulator, and it's working on the iOS simulator as well. But I can't get it onto an actual iOS device until the Google developer is approved. So that one is going to take a few more days to get there. But what we're going to do this morning, because what I was planning on doing this morning was starting to do like the unit tests for the widgets. They're called widget tests, right? Units, like I got all of my I got my test driven development and my unit tests working for the logic, but now I want to do my widget tests for the front end, right? Which the reason that I didn't do that before, right, is because I didn't understand at all how the widgets worked and everything like that. Now I have a much better understanding of how they work in Flutter, the coding behind it, and how to move things around. Thanks to the Flutter course that I'm taking with from Udemy with Dr. Angela Yu. Like she's always my go to person for like learning these new. Again, I took her class for full stack development for Python and now for Flutter, and the thing is, right, I didn't have to follow it as closely because once I say, okay, this is what I'm gonna build, right, and then I just like piece and patch things together, and then when I need some more assistance, then I go and like find out what I need from there. But I'm gonna go back through the course to like make sure I'm catching up on everything. But I was able to like to do a whole bunch of this stuff just by following along and stuff like that. So let's do this. What we're gonna do, I was gonna start with the widget testing, but let's go ahead and let's see if we can get this stuff into the App Store. Uh, all right, so I'm pulling up the Google developer account. And let's see what we have here. So let me see, where do I want to go? All right, so let's go to this screen. So let me see if I can zoom in on this a little bit. So, by the way, this morning, I'll show it on full screen, but I'm using the new Keychron K3 keyboard this morning. It is very, very smooth. Like I love the K2, the heavier one, the louder one. But like I was saying yesterday, that's for like when I'm focused and stuff like that. But being able to use this little light, nifty, quiet keyboard, it's also soothing. All right, so you gotta sometimes you have to like I said yesterday, you need to get the equipment that's going to make you the most productive. All right, so let's go into the time calculator app. And let me zoom in some more. So, get ready to publish your app. So right now we are doing the internal testing, right? And now that I've been approved, I should be able to get it to the next step. Created some testers. Once it's out there, I'm going to create a link to so that I can share it to get additional beta testers, right? But what I want to do is I set up a draft release of the MVP. So here's what happened, right? So the reason, all right. So when you see with version naming, right? So the first one is like a major version. The second one is an update to that version, and then the third one is like if you have like a patch release. So the reason that I have this 1.0.1 is because after I built it and I uploaded it to Google, um, I realized that the ad that is on the app was the ads provider got approved. So I went back and I took out the test ads so it can be like the real live ads, and so then I had to bump the version to 0.1. So that's why you see it like that. Okay, so let's go to. So we are here. So this is the draft right here. Show summary version 2. Supported Android devices 20,100. I wonder why it's so low. So that's something I'll have to look into. Maybe you know what it might be? It might be it might be what I made it available for. So let's see, right? And that's gonna be a good learning experience as well. Because like if my versioning is too high, so we can always rebuild it and do stuff like that. So let's see. Um It might be the target SDK version 33 might be too high. So what I can do before I even roll that out, then what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go back and look at. Let's go and look at over here in the code to see what if we were to. Where would I see that? Let me see. Because this app does not need to have like doesn't need to require like the highest versions. But I'm trying to see where would I build maybe? Let me see something. Oh, that's what I wanted to do. Let's see. But regardless, we can still. Oh, why is it not switching over? Let's go to. We could. Let's do this, right? Let's save and publish, and then we can always redo this for a lower SDK because at least I can get to it, and that'll be good enough for now. And then we can make the necessary adjustments from there. Let's do it. See, I don't know though, because all right, so if I go back here, not there. If I go here, I don't know if I want to publish it yet, because if this is only going to be available, let me see. Dashboard. Let me see. So, let me zoom out. Where did I see this thing earlier? Because I think what they're telling you is that this is the amount of people who have this. I can't be only 20,000 people. Let's do it. Let's see what happens, right? Let's go here. Because we can always like upload a new package if we need to. All right, so let's go here. And let's do that. Let's see. Let's see. I wonder if we can see how many. Let's see how many users on the version of Android. Because I know this app doesn't need to be like super up there, like in version number, because it's pretty basic. Let's see. Android 13, market share 24. So we probably want to go down to, I'll say Android 10, to be honest with you. So let's see here. So let's do a search. Hey, good guy, if you're still in the chat, what version of, are you on Android or iOS? All right, so how to change Android Min SDK in Flutter. So you do it in the build.gradle. All right, let's do that. So it's right here. Okay. Awesome. So I will be sending you a beta testing link. Go here. Let's look at the build.gradle. And where? Flutter min SDK. Can I go to this? Now, where is this specified? Let's see. Maybe in project structure. I would want to go to a let's see. Well, let's see what happens, right? Because we can always adjust it later. No big deal. So let's go over to and we're gonna do let's go ahead and do save and publish. API levels 19 plus, target SDK. Oh, let's see. Let's see. Let me zoom in on this a little bit. Let's see what happens. Save and publish. What's the worst that can happen, right? All right. So we are changes to location targeting. All right. Your temporary app name is this. And so your app setup is complete. Your app has to be reviewed. Internal test will be see a temporary name while downloading your app. All right. So it is available for testing, apparently. And release history. So it takes, let me see. Make sure I'm not sharing anybody's email address. So let's see what's going on here. So testers. Okay, cool. I can share the screen. It doesn't show any names on there. All right. So let's go to copy link. Let's see if anything shows up when we go to this link. Oh, look at that. You have been invited to an internal test of if you accept the app on your device may update. If you accept the app on your device may update to internal test versions as they become available. These versions may not be stable and may include unreleased features. They may not have been reviewed by Google and may not meet the Google Play terms of service. By accepting this invite, you agree that Google may share your email address and information about your use of cool. So I'm gonna send you I'm not gonna put it in this chat yet because I have to like look at it first, but I'm gonna send it to you on Discord afterwards, good guy. And I'll share it with a few other people as well. But we shall see how it goes. Let me see if I can get to it on my phone. How do I get to it on my phone? How would I get it on my phone? I'll leave it to myself. But let's see. But it's there. It is there. I have Discord open, not yet. So I think we're at a good point now, right? So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna share this link with a few people as well as I'm gonna try it out on my phone first, and then we shall see what else we need to do to, make sure because I have like a few Android phones over here, so I'm going to try it on different, some older ones to see, make sure it loads up and stuff like that. But we'll see. All right. But we're gonna wrap it up for this morning. I am excited too. First app, we're going through the process. So after we start beta testing and things are on that path, then we shall go to make any fixes and stuff like that, and then we'll go to. So the process goes. Where do I have that process? Do I have it open? Let me see if I can find it real quick. So but basically the process goes, all right, so you do the internal testing and then there is another type of testing that they do here. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. So okay, so they have the internal testing, then they have the closed testing. So identify issues in your app, get feedback, and unlock production access. With closed testing, you can share your app with a wide group of users that you control. This allows you to identify issues, get feedback, ensure everything is ready with your app before you launch. You must run a closed test before you can apply to publish your app to everyone in production, right? So we are currently in internal testing. And then we have to do closed testing from my understanding. And so you set up your closed track test, select countries and regions, select testers, create and roll out a release, preview and confirm the release, send the release to Google for review, and then apply for production access, publish to a closed testing release, have at least 20 testers opt into your closed test, 0 testers currently opted in, and then you run your closed test with at least 20 testers for at least 14 days. So it takes could be about a month to get into production, but you still get users and stuff in production. So that is very, very cool. Or not in production, but yeah, so let's go to, yeah, so that's pretty much it, right? We're going to follow along. I'm going to make sure that the app can be installed on older versions, and we'll go from there. Okay. So let's wrap it up. Should have charged this iPad so it can make it a lot smoother transitioning, but it is what it is. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. We are making a lot of moves. We're doing what we have to do. All right. So I'm gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much. Remember, we have Candid Conversations coming out at noon, and then we're going live tomorrow night with Socks for cybersecurity Q&A night, and then we'll be back here on Wednesday morning to continue. So I'm pretty sure this coming Wednesday we're going to be getting into the widget testing. If nothing else comes up. So follow along and I will keep you posted. All right. So thank you for tuning in. I am going to head out. If you haven't done so yet, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell so you can know every time we go live. Like the video, share the video. If you need to get one-on-one coaching, check out the Patreon at www.techcoachralph.dev. But we're out. Have a wonderful, wonderful Monday and a wonderful, wonderful start to your week.
You might think that getting into the IT field is impossible without a computer science degree, but Tech Coach Ralph is here to prove you wrong. Get ready for some jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into this lucrative industry. Listen up, tech enthusiasts! Are you ready to break through into the IT field, but feel like you need a computer science degree to make it happen? Think again! Tech Coach Ralph has some exclusive, mind-blowing secrets to share with you. Get ready to be blown away by his jaw-dropping revelations on how to break into the tech industry without a computer science degree. So get your notepad ready, because Tech Coach Ralph is going to change your life forever. Buckle up, because you're about to embark on a journey to success in the IT field.